Boop, boop. Send. What's going on? Sorry, there's a slight delay, apparently. How we doing, Devin? Good to see you guys. There is a slight delay for chat. For some reason, because YouTube chat's always an absolute nightmare. Thanks for the Discord conversation. Cheers, mate. Happy to help where I can. Alright, so. Here we are. Boop. We are level 60. I'm happy you enjoyed the Kestrel video. We are level 60, which means we can do a couple more things than we did previously. Yay. I have spent literally nothing this week in the game. That is not for lack of trying. I have $12 left to spend in the next 24 hours or whatever, you know, 48 hours, something like that. And there just really isn't... First of all, costumes, they priced so many people out of costumes. There's no reason... Ignoring all this other stuff, which is great, costumes should not cost $50 no matter what. That's just too much money for a costume, right? Like, that's... Like, it's fine if you change stuff. We specifically waited until after the Blob Blitz to do it. Hey, Zymergy. We specifically waited. We wanted to get the Blob Blitz in under the radar. I'll get more shards overall from being in the Blob Blitz in this earlier one than I will for being in a far one. So the next series of blitzes are the ones I'll go up. Sup, Senju. So that's cool. Costumes, to me, there's a range in my head. You know, if it, like, color palette swaps, those are supposed to be something along the lines of $5 to $10, maybe $15 in the absolute highest scenario. Then there's, like, when you actually change how the character looks, like, we'll use, what's her name, Electra. That goes up a little bit. That's closer to, like, 20 to 30 in that range, because it is work, and they do deserve to get credit for the work they put in. And then if you physically change how the character acts or looks, if there's if the animations are different, then you put a little bit more work into it, so that where things go up. So yeah, just like costume credits are fine, but when you look at them as like every 1,000 credits are worth $1, you start realizing real quickly that no, they're not worth that much. So I feel bad because I would love to buy costumes. Costumes are one of my favorite things about games, like outfits, color palettes, like anything like that, because it makes the game feel more like you're involved. But they did make it a little bit less enjoyable, because that's what costumes are supposed to do. Costumes are supposed to make you, hey Thor, enjoy it a little bit more. Factor in the costumes can also be earned through events over time, which not all game allows players to do. I do factor in that the costumes can be earned over a period of time. I do. I'm factoring that in as well. What bugs me the most is that doesn't matter. Yeah, like for $50, I could buy a dope ass like hat. You know, like so like it's too much for not enough. That's it. That's all. Like, it's costumes, right? You would think that, like, who cares? And I've said many times, they're probably going to overprice the costumes because, you know, they're, for lack of a better word, esoteric bullshit. They don't mean anything. So them being overpriced is fair, but I think there's a difference between what I consider overpriced. Like, I think the absolute ceiling on Captain Marvel's Ver's costume is $15. Yeah, usually about a week, Robert. Like the ceiling on a color swap, like Deadpool and Captain Marvel's costumes, those are worth $15, period. Like, that's the end of it. And I know that because I'm looking at other games that have costumes, and that's the price comparison of just those kinds of things. League of Legends is big on costumes, that their entire monetary. But there's plenty of other games that have costumes or skins, and that's the rough price. And those games are better than this. So like you don't pay more than $15 to make something that was red blue. You don't do that. That's stupid. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, but it's Marvel Future Fight uniforms change the characters' outfits. They change what the characters do in Future Fight and Contest of Champions. Like they give stat boost, not the same. Yeah, and again, but costumes or outfits in Marvel Future Fight is a gameplay mechanism. So when you make the gameplay mechanism cost money, it makes sense. It's the difference between buying character shards, you know, and buying red stars on a character. I don't care about getting a 7 red star Nebula as much as I care about getting, I don't know, a 7 red star Black Bolt, so they kind of work out. Well, that's the thing. They knew for a fact that $50 flat for a costume would probably piss a lot of people off, so instead they just were like, and some more stuff. See, it's worth $50. It's not. No one cares about that. Anyway, I don't want to go into more details on it. In Avengers, yeah. And again, you can earn all the costumes within gameplay, and the costumes are cap out at a certain amount. That's just what it is. Like, there's no reason for the costumes to cost as much as they do in this game. I really don't want to labor on it anymore. It's literally for people with more money than sense at this point. But I can't fault you for buying what you want to buy. I just need you to be very aware that it is a dramatic waste of money compared to what any other game is putting out. You know, like, it is, comparatively, it is the worst value I've ever seen when it comes to, like, costumes, things that don't really make too much of a difference. That's it. So throw it in a 3-star Elite Orb. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now, don't get me wrong, if that bundle came with, like, a 6-star random, like a random 6-star orb, I'd be like, sold, done. You know, like, even a 5-star orb, I'd probably be like, yeah, no, that seems reasonable. What's the best team with the Voyager tag? There's no best team with the Voyager tag. The best team with the Voyager tag is the characters you have. So, where we've gone so far this week, right? This week was a very relaxed week. There was no major impact that happened to me as a player going here. I hit level 60, which means there's game modes now that I can do that I previously couldn't. And to be 100% clear, I'm going to do them here. Like, we're going to watch me clear them with the teams I have. Arena, I'm still holding top 50 if you guys watch during stream. Some days I get, like, 52 because someone knocked me out. Some days I could fight up and get up to 20. There's really not much of a difference. Right now, we've reached the point of I'm better than anyone who's not spending, and the people who are better than me tend to be spending a little bit more. There's someone with a Dr. Octopus right now in my arena shard, which means not only we all started arena shards roughly start at the same time. So there's someone who's been playing for somewhere between 7 and 10 weeks that spent enough money to get Dr. Octopus in his first pass. That is what we call a Kraken. That's not a whale. That's a Kraken, because Dr. Octopus is not a character designed for early game content. He's designed to excel in later and later game content. So when you get him early, that's why you can't farm some of the characters early. That's why it's so difficult to get to them. So the earlier you get those characters, the more money you have to spend to kind of accelerate through that point. And anyone with a Doc Ock right now in my arena shard has spent not hundreds, not even necessarily thousands of dollars, but like orders of magnitude of thousands. Maybe not quite 10,000, but definitely at least 5,000 or 6,000. Started this week, would you build Winter Soldier? No, I didn't even read the rest of your sentence. You asked me if I would build Winter Soldier. The answer to that question is no. There is absolutely no value in Winter Soldier as a character. Zemo does what Zemo needs to do, which is win all of the games for you. Yeah, there's really nothing else there. I have Ock in my arena shard. Yeah, like, it costs so, like, you had to buy the $50 pack, but you also had to buy the core offers to pull the characters, and you had to get those characters, which is 5 mutants, to, like, a reasonable power to unlock Doc Ock. Like, that entire team had to be about 100, 120k all mutants. It just costs too much to like reasonably, and it's a good investment, right? Like, but it is only a one-sided investment. Doc Ock's not like carrying you through raid nodes or anything. It's one war team, 2 war teams you get out of it, and then you still have to work on the rest of the characters. So I'm good on Blitz for now. Let's look at what we have going on. So the biggest thing to talk about, obviously, is that Kestrel exists in the game, and there is going to be a huge issue now because Kestrel is going to... What Voyager tune? I couldn't do the hard if I tried. It's very unlikely that I would be able to do the hard on this account. And there's, again, also, to be very, very clear, I expect to unlock Kestrel because she's 45, and that's just an easy unlock. But we're not answering that question because he's not coming. These are my character pools. I can use Surfer, I can use Captain Marvel, therefore that's who I'm using, right? Like, the other characters in here, they're gonna do their best. But if Surfer and Captain Marvel aren't enough to, like, do... Maybe Elsa, obviously, a little... aren't enough to really carry this, I'm not gonna spend resources on dog shit characters in order to progress on the Kestrel campaign. So, here's the problem. Kestrel is not just a good character. Like, Silver Surfer is a good character. Silver Surfer is phenomenal, but he doesn't quite change the game in the way, and let me explain why. Silver Surfer, as a new player, is going to help you and everyone who has him accomplish the same tasks. You can still be, as you can see, a Silver Surfer. You don't need a Silver Surfer to fight Silver Surfers. That's not a thing, right? Like, he's a good character. Trust me, you will do very well with Surfer. And he scales so well into most of the games that it's incredibly high impact. But here's the case. From this point on, if I were to buy Kestrel, which I can't afford to buy Kestrel on this account, I have $12 left in my pool. Kestrel's offer was $24. So unless they re-release the offer in the next day, or they release some other offer, it's very unlikely that I will be buying Kestrel. So I'll get a 2-star Kestrel, right? That's what's going to happen. No issues, not really worried. That's cool. But here's the case. From this, we're thinking about endgame conversations of Kestrel, and she has really good value in Doom Raids, blah, 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 whatever. From now on, if you get Kestrel right now, like today, especially on this account, there are characters that I no longer think about. So I cannot, for the life of me, justify getting a Phoenix, because now anyone who gets Phoenix is going to get countered by my Kestrel. And I can't really prioritize Sinister as an arena character anymore because it's too early in the game for me to get too much value. So it doesn't matter so much in the end game where, like, Kestrel is an option, but in this part of the game, you're going to notice a huge split among the entire community of people who have Kestrel and no longer fear meta shifts as you grow, and people who don't have Kestrel or don't have a reasonably strong enough Kestrel and don't. But either way, it doesn't matter. Her existence diminishes the growth value of so many characters that, like, let's be clear, Mr. Sinister is god tier at Dark Dimension 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whether or not you use him doesn't matter. He's a god tier character for that. He's, for a very long time, up until literally this moment, you could use your Sinister on Arena and get super value. Congrats, Enrico. Happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I did an entire video, an in-depth analysis of Kestrel. As a character, no complaints. As what she did to the game is create a huge damage problem. And again, it's not based on her power level. It's everything combined. Like, she's not a more powerful character than Surfer because Surfer accomplishes more than her across the board. But that's one way of looking at it. Kestrel itself causes so many characters that were previously good or okay to just by her existence be irrelevant. And to compare that, you have to look at characters like Black Bolt. Black Bolt devalued characters like Ultron, but it was still a one-for-one comparison. Not much else Black Bolt did. You couldn't res anymore, so Minerva got stopped. He was a legendary character, and he had a very specific use. Same thing with, what's it called? Maw. Maw was released to stop Phoenix being great, and he did, but he didn't do so by making Phoenix useless. You now had to plan around it. Basically, Kestrel being the character she is, how easy it is to get her, and the low investment it takes for her to accomplish her passive stuff makes it unfair. Can you make a list of characters as value change? No, I can't do that. I'm done helping this community. I'm helping my community now. I could care less about the people who want to know stuff. You can go to Remen or anybody else for that. Yeah. Sinister hasn't become useless. That's something dumb people think, and that's fine. Sinister's not a useless character now. And again, that's not the point. The point is, as I progress through the game, there are characters that don't have the value that they did because of the existence of Kestrel. And that's huge. Because getting Surfer here, that's great, but I don't have to stop what I'm doing to get more stars on Surfer. He's just going to be a great character. We're gonna see situations where the game is gonna come down to, oh, I have a Kestrel? Well, it's useless. How good is Doom? Not that good anymore. This is actually something that irks me the most, is that the Dark Dimension character, the most recent Dark Dimension character, Dr. Doom, had less of an impact in the game than Kestrel does. If you, like, that blows my mind. That blows my mind that they introduced a character to the game that has more impact at every... Not good, not better, not best, not more damage. Just a more impactful character at every stage of the game than the last Dark Dimension character that is quite literally the hardest character to get. It shows poor design. It shows bad planning. It shows exactly the kind of company that they are, But yeah, but Surfer's not that broken. Surfer's a phenomenal character, but he doesn't break the game. You know what I mean? He doesn't... Silver Surfer is a very strong, one of the best type of characters in the game. Because he's Surfer, because of what he does, because of what you get out of him. It's huge value for this character. But if I see a Surfer on defense, I'm not fucked. I'm not like, oh no. As a matter of fact, even here, we'll see here, I'm at 58. Let's see what's in 50. Yeah, like, I'm still beating this team. You know what I mean? Like, or I should be beating this team. So that's okay. Surfer is a good character that everybody has access to, and a 2-star Surfer and a 6-star Surfer fundamentally will do the same thing for you as a player. The only difference is whether or not RTA matters or something like that. Kestrel, her existence, has now changed the meta into seeing who gets the strongest Kestrel. And that scares me a little bit from a design perspective. Should we hold out 3 red stars because they're giving out 3 stars? I mean, I don't... They're giving out a free 3 red Kestrel? Honestly, I'm kind of scared to fight Heroes for Hire. Heroes for Hire is already countered. We already know how to beat Heroes for Hire. Like, yes, they're good, but the team to beat them exists in the game, you know? So it's not like a panic. But they are going to be a good team, is Ultimus. Ultimus has never been worth it. So he can't be still worth it if he was worth it in the first place. Boop, boop, doop, boop, boop, boop. Let's do this. Kill her. Wait, how did that not kill her? She had way less than 15% of her health. The next legendary scared me if they try to one-up Kestrel. No, but that'd be fun. Like, legendary characters are supposed to be legendary, you know? Legendary characters are supposed to be legendary. You're supposed to feel good. I think Kestrel is better than, like, Jubilee. Or, I'm sorry, again, better is such a weird word. I think Kestrel has a higher impact than Jubilee does, which is insane. We can earn a 3 red Kestrel. Fun. Yeah, I don't know where you got that information, but it couldn't have been from any content creator. Yeah, power. Again, I don't think there's something wrong with Kestrel. Like, I think that she got too many things on her for how easy she is to get. Because people go like, wow, I have a really strong character, but they don't realize that everybody has that same character, and there was no effort to do it, so... Whatever. Whatever. Everyone can go ahead and be hyped about this character. Everyone has. And I think the limit on Kestrel is like 114. So once your Kestrel hits 114k, there's no fundamental difference between what your Kestrel can do and what another Kestrel can do. So Gear Tier 4, Gear Tier 15 or 14, 4 Red Star, 4-star Kestrel solves like everything you need in the game. The stronger it is, the more crazy stuff will go. Ultimus was never good. Ultimus was never good. Oh, literally, Ultimus was never good. Ever. 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 All right. So. Boop, boop. Thank you. I was actually just wondering if you can open 15 tabs for me real quick. Do you think they might rework Iron Man at some point? No. Sure, everyone will have her, but it's nice for people to still have half heroes unlocked to get a new person to plug heroes, right? No. I think you're looking at a pile of shit and wondering if a bow makes it look prettier. Are there any costumes you want to add? Not at the price points they put in. Honestly, like, once you're telling me that a color swap on Captain Marvel and a slight character change are worth $35 and $50 respectively, there's no costume I'd want to see because nothing is worth that money. You know what I mean? Like, so... To me, anyway. Like, and again, I'm using comparative terms. Like, I can go and play any other game and spend that money on costumes. $50 in League of Legends is like 3 or 4 costumes, or 2 really amazing costumes that change everything. $50 in Warframe is like 14 to 20 unique costumes and color palettes. No, I don't want to, Damon. I don't like to do that. So no. Again, there's a huge difference between Surfer. Costumes are, yes, but whatever. There's a huge difference between Surfer because Surfer doesn't devalue characters that you build. Like, if I have a Surfer right now, that doesn't mean my Magneto is gonna suck in the future. That doesn't mean that Sinister is gonna suck in the future. That doesn't even mean Nick Fury, Phoenix. Like, Surfer doesn't make other characters suck. Now, all of the legendaries that summon, all of the things that happen in the game, in Genshin? No, they're doing a Zhao, what's his name? The Earth Wizard, banner, but that's it. Cerebro was on Reddit trying to defend the price point. Yeah, well, he shouldn't, that's not his job. He should have shut the fuck up about it. And I did tell you that a long time ago, I said that they're gonna probably overcharge. I just had no idea this is how badly they were gonna overcharge. I had no idea, you know? It's ridiculous how high. Okay, so let's now that I'm level 60, let's do some campaigns that I was previously doing. So I can't do anything in heroes or villains, right? I'm level 70 capped on these. These are done. I've literally finished everything on these. This is done. Can't touch anything until level 70. No need to look at it. No need to think about it right now. I have 10 levels before that comes up. Yeah. $20 for a palette change is like the absolute most expensive. And that is like, and I think that's an overpriced biomargin. And I'll be like, fine, fuck you. You know, $35 for a palette swap? No. I don't care if there's an event that makes it cheap. Like, yeah, $5 or do it in the event makes sense. $10 or do it in the event. $15. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are they gonna do? This company's not, like... There's a new rule, by the way, guys. This is the new rule. If you bought either of the costumes, you give up all of your rights to complain about the game. That's it. If you buy a character, it helps you progress. If you buy a, if you buy a gear pack, if you buy red star orbs, at the end of the day, those do have some progression value. So you can complain about how much the game is in a bad spot because your money is not progressing you in the way you want, etc., 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 etc. If you're spending money, right? If you're spending money in the game on something that doesn't in any way, shape, or form at all change how you play the game, that what you're saying is this random thing that just looks good is my way of saying thank you to Scopely / whatever, Foxnext, whatever, for producing this game. Because that's all it is. Doesn't matter that you like Electra. It doesn't matter that you like Wanda and Vision. None of those things matter. What matters is you're buying something that doesn't make you a better player or doesn't have the chance of improving your gameplay quality. So you're buying something that just makes you happy, and therefore you're saying with your money, I'm happy with the way the game is. So you give up your right to complain if you're spending $50 on an Electra costume. That's just how it goes. Or you still have the right to complain, but everybody no longer has any interest in hearing it. Because you're giving them money when something is going wrong. When you're not happy. And that's the silliest thing in the world. Yeah. That number does change. Like, it stands to reason no matter what, right? Like, you can't really complain about something in the game when you're spending money on random stuff, on stuff that doesn't affect gameplay. Like, so that's it no matter what. But now if you're paying $50 for an Electra costume, the next thing you don't get to follow that up with, man, I can't believe that the patch took so long. Anyway, here's $50 for something that looks different. Like, you don't get to say that anymore. Would be a good skeleton team for the event next month. I don't think you get this, Enrico. I'll answer that question. The 5 skeleton characters you have. You know what's funny is I see the WandaVision costumes. Now we're still talking about costumes while I'm just dirtling. I see the WandaVision costumes. if both Wanda and Vision, right? If these were bundled as a $50 bundle, if it was you can only get them by buying the bundle for $50, I'm like, that's fine. That's cool. These are unique enough. They look a little, they put a lot of work into these. Like, they look good. I like them. So I like in my head, I'm like, like they don't matter, whatever. But, yeah. Like as far as I'm concerned, like if they were to bundle them, I don't think so. I'm almost convinced, guys. There's gonna be like 5 of every character. Like, they left slots open for more costumes. Like, we'll be fine. Yeah, whatever, dude. Garbage costume, okay costume, garbage costume, okay, garbage costume, okay costume. You know, whatever. Who cares? And again, they don't change anything. So you're buying them because you want the character to look cool, because you want to do that. I don't think they understand that costumes work because they're cheap. That's why costumes sell. Because they're cheap. That's why you create rarer costumes that do something crazy, or unique costumes. And just so everyone knows, costumes, we've talked about it in the past. Here's where the costumes are going to be in the events of the real-time arena. Anyway, let's put some gameplay. So these two are done. Nexus has finally unlocked its next node for me, so I can clear through some of the Nexus. Let's start with... Nope, let's change the characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This team should be able to auto everything. Yeah. No, that's what's going to happen. The costume currency is going to be for RTA, because the only way they can really iron out the only way they could truly iron out like people playing in a game mode they don't want to play is to gate the costumes, is to expensively price the costumes and then put them in a game mode no one wants to do. Hell, even if they were, if it would be insane if they were in the Strike Pass, you know? Like the regular Strike Pass, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Nah, that's too much value, guys. There's too much value. They can screw you out of money way easier than that. So they're going to take the option, screw you out of the money. Am I out of touch? No, the children who are wrong. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. If you bought either of the costumes, you've now given up your right to complain about the state of the game. Or your right to be respected for complaining about the state of the game, I think is a more accurate way of phrasing it. Would you adjust the Phoenix Legendary farm? The spreadsheet's not a guide. I don't tell you when to unlock stuff. It even says the first line, this is not a instructions. So would I adjust it? No, you still shouldn't even begin to look at Phoenix until after that. But that's the point when you should be looking at Phoenix characters. I don't think you should farm the legendaries at all. Actually, I think the only thing you should do is get your Sinister 6 up to 2 now that you can get IW every, like, month. It's going to be, like, every month and a half IW is going to come around. So, like, getting her as early as possible is great. But then again, because you can get her so frequently now, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, Shuri getting early is huge, right? But, like, IW doesn't make too much of a difference. And because she's going to be around once every month and a half, because she's part of the earlier cycle, and then when they add a new legendary to that, it'll be like every 2 months, that'll be okay. You know, because the lighter legendary cycle is only 3 characters. It's Star-Lord, IW, and Magneto. So it's going to be like IW event over 2 weeks, you know, like announced, and then a week passes, the event starts, and then the event goes for a couple of days, and then they'll announce. So it's like every 2 weeks on a cycle. So it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Was the Minerva offer you got? It was like $4.99 for 50 Minerva shards. Shuri is essentially your only global healer. Yes, correct. That said, the amount of time you need a global healer, like when do you start needing a global healer? At what point in the game do you need a healer for global stuff? You know? Alpha 3? Alpha 4? At some point, they will, as they add more characters, I don't know if they're going to make them permanent unlocks. Right? Gamma 3, specifically, because Gamma 2 requires less. Campaign needs, yeah. So we're talking about level 70 shit, right? Like max level shit. So we don't have to worry about her until max level shit anyway. So like, that's the point. Getting her early doesn't, like you can't do stuff when you get her. You know, so like now you could just kind of like slow ride it and work more specifically on niche characters. Trust me, had I started after, I probably wouldn't be targeting. I probably would have targeted Magneto instead of the Sinister Six because the Sinister Six would just be a casual farm until I unlocked them. That's not true. There are some Sinister Six characters that like if I got them now, they'd be more beneficial for later anyway, so I'd get them out of the way. Doesn't really matter. But again, like, if I had Shuri today, she wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't use her in any other stuff, so, like... She's great. But there's no rush to get her anymore. Before, you just wanted to make sure you hit the legendary when it came out. That's why you target farmed them. Now it matters less. Same thing with Star-Lord. I'm gonna accidentally unlock a Star-Lord one day. I'm gonna look around, he's gonna be like, Star-Lord event's here, and that's fine. Magneto is the one I'm gonna actually work towards. And now I can't really work on any of the other legendaries, right? Phoenix, no, because she's 6-star and that's silly. And she's been, like, basically nerfed out of the game for Arena, which is kind of where her biggest thing was. Her biggest value was Arena, and now she's been nerfed out of it because of Kestrel. So Phoenix is basically fundamentally skippable for anything other than War and, you know, a handful of other, like Dark Dimension and stuff. Black Bolt, you still can't touch until level 50 anyway, level 70 anyway, unless you're spending money, then do whatever you want, no one cares. Maw, you can't touch until you get Black Bolt, so see previous conversation. You could, and then, Doc Ock, you have to get Negasonic, and Jubilee, you have to get Yellow Jacket, and both of them are endgame farms, so. At level 60, I'm running all Greek 3s. I'm running all Greek 4s. Ha, jokes on them. I didn't use my Phoenix for me. Yeah. Oh, good, I can farm Falcon now. Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. Sorry, Benjamin, I missed your note. 2 Jubilee, bouncing around between the 3, but not sure if one's more important or impactful for the other. Doc Ock's the best. Then Doc Ock is the best standalone. Doc Ock's the best legendary in the game. Like, not the best character, but the best legendary. Which goes to tell you that all of the other legendaries in the game are lower rank than Doc Ock in full comparison. But Doc Ock's the best. Of all the legendary characters, Doc Ock's the best. Then probably Maw. Then probably Jubilee. Then probably Black Bolt. Or Black Bolt and Jubilee. They're probably a little bit closer to even than many people would want to admit. And then there's everybody else. Like, Magneto's phenomenal, but, like, Magneto's really good at what he does. Am I gonna buy this strike pass? No fucking chance. I haven't really looked at this strike pass on this account. Are we saving red stars for Ultron? You're not getting him out of red star orbs. Why is Doc Ock better than Maw? It's a great question. Maw was never the best character in the game. He was a good legendary for a really long time. But everything Maw does, Doc Ock does better. As a character. Maw shines on his team. Doc Ock shines on whatever team Doc Ock's on. See data mine about Ultron capping at 3 red. What did I tell you guys? For the last week, I've been saying you're not getting more than 3 red stars on Ultron. Doc Ock doesn't give defense up. I mean, if you think defense up is that important, then that's fine. How often does Maud give defense up? Once every 6 turns? You gonna troll anyone telling you cause OP? Nope, Kestrel's OP as fuck. Cheers, Ben. Yeah, for literally all week, I've been telling people you're not getting more than 3 red stars on Ultron. Go back, watch the replays. Like that AV, Ock, SSM, Sinister, Emma Team, and Arena is nuts, isn't it? Yeah, it's crazy. That team can auto everything except a Phoenix Black Bolt comp, because Phoenix Black Bolt has all the answers to that team comp. Yeah. I needed people to hear that was, yeah, you're gonna get 3 red stars on Ultron because they're gonna drip release it. Because they don't want everybody to be insane. Again, I'm not talking through this fight and I'm clicking auto because I just hit level 60. I'm utilizing these characters. My favorite character in the game, Sabretooth. I'm utilizing these characters. Except for Surfer, all of these characters are accessible by the time you're level 60. You can get all of these characters. I also have Hela, by the way, which I'm not using right now. I'm using him instead. So Surfer is the character that, like, broke this out, but none of these other characters stand out. Oh, fuck Kestrel. Any thoughts on how we'll get those red stars in Ultron? I don't have thoughts. I know how we're going to get those red stars in Ultron. I've talked about it many times. They're a special currency that are going to be dripped out, and it's going to cost a ton of those currencies. And it's going to be the same currency on Ultron as it is Ultimus and Doom. Therefore, guess what? Everyone's buying the Ultron ones, and then they're going to the Doom ones, and then they'll do whatever the next character that's limited is, because no one's buying 6 and 7 on Ultimus. Like, because no one's going to waste their resources. Yeah. And again, if I wanted, if I stuck with my original plan, I'd still be using Thor, Captain America, and Hulk here, or some combination of them over them. But Zemo is the immediate go. Zemo's the immediate go. Like, if you get Zemo, all of your skill gear goes into Zemo. That's it, right? Minerva gets all tech gear when possible. Bio gear becomes really problematic because there's a lot of good bio characters. Mystic gear becomes really problematic because there's a lot of good mystic characters. But CM is still, in the early game, incredibly high impact. It's very few things stop what CM can do in the early stages of the game. Late game, she just kind of peters out a little bit. But, you know, again, we're stopping everybody at gear tier 10 for the most part anyway. You ask such weird questions. Elsa's fine. She's kind of a trap because I use Elsa a lot in early game stuff and she does a lot of damage, but she doesn't hold that value progressively. She then just becomes a member of her team. I don't need to worry about this. Yeah, in the early game, a lot of characters in the early game seem stronger. Like, people think Thing is really good in the early game because he does a lot of damage. I'm bringing certain characters to 664. Basically, I've divided, in my head, and anyone who's been a long-time watcher knows, I've divided the game into 3 different parts, right? there is the arena slash dark dimension part. Any character that's good in arena or necessary for dark dimension, whatever that means to me or you, gear, you know, all the never stop, whatever it takes, you know, bring them all the way up. And then there's like the raid and war comps. That's where they become the investment I put into them goes as far as whatever I can afford, like the higher port of what I can afford. So if I can get every character to gear tier 10, you know, but it takes a little bit of time, I will bring them up to that point, 10, 6, 6, 6, 4, and that's my raid slash arena pool of characters, assuming that there's some overlap between, you know, Dark Dimension and arena characters and the characters there. But if they're just part of a raid team, or if they're just part of a war team I use, I don't worry as much about them. Once I get them to gear tier 10, 6, 6, 6, 4, I'm comfortable leaving them at that point and moving them on as far as anything else. And then there's the rest of the pool, which is the campaign and the blitz, you know, RTA, stuff like that. For those characters, it is the least I can get away with. No problem, man. The least I can get away with. Like, whatever I could put, the least amount of resources I could put into them and generate success, I will do that. Because we don't have enough resources in this game to treat every single person like they are a high-impact character. And to be honest, people who treat the game like that either spend more money than 90% of the game, the rest of the players in the game, like by a margin, or they just don't have a good understanding of the game. Or they screw themselves up and then they have a really strong Shadowlands team, but they can't do any raids. Which is a true thing, guys. Actually ask yourselves, how many people do you know that have invested in Shadowlands over the last couple months but still can't do Doom Raid? Or, you know, clear U7.5. Like, sure, the Shadowlands team will be good for war, but everything is a trade-off. Remember? Every single thing you do is a trade-off in this game. I've actually taken to describing it like a two-path system. Basically, let's use this as the scale, right? We'll use my microphone right here. This is endgame right here, and this is where you start. Hi, it's my hand. From starting the game to getting to endgame, there is one path where you go from here to here, and that costs money. That's called the wallet path. You just, whatever you need to do, you do it, and then you go here, and now you're here, right? And then there's the, I'm going to be really strong in arena path, but no matter what happens, top path, I'm going to be really strong in arena and have a couple of have really strong characters and get a lot of cores and arena credits. But at some point, you have to stop that and cross to the bottom path, which is like raid and stuff, like raid characters and war characters, and then build them up to get to endgame. So you're trading this arena success. At some point, you're taking arena success, but at some point, you're not going to have the depth of roster, even with arena success, to get the next legendary, the next big thing, the new character, whatever it takes. So you have to stop at some point, and that's going to cause you to lose progress in arena. In the same way around, you could forego arena progress and start building raid and war teams and getting more resources there, but at some point, you're going to need to have a bank of cores, and you have to switch over to arena. No matter what, the only path where you start from the beginning of the game and get to the end game in a straight line where you're good at everything involves money. Is the 60 a month you use in the account similar to your main, or does it have more variance? Well, when I have no cap on my main account, right? Like, if I want to buy something, I buy it in my main. This, I have a cap, so I have to make decisions. Like, I didn't buy the Silver Surfer offer on this account. On my main account, I've spent $120 on Silver Surfer. I bought 5 of his $20 offers and then the Battle Pass, because that got me a 5-star plus Silver Surfer, right? On this account, that was never an option. So I didn't buy a $20 Surfer pack. Instead, I bought the Strike Pass, which got me a 3-star Surfer for $20. So in this account, I just have to be a little bit more discerning with my spending. For example, I have $12 left, and I'm not gonna spend it, right? Like, I'm not, like, in the market of just being like, well, I got it. If I don't spend it, I lose it. Like, if I don't spend the last $12 in the game, it's because there was nothing worth $12 or less for me to buy. You know what I mean? So I didn't. There's something worth $24 for me to buy. It was the Kestrel pack, but I don't have $24. So I'm not doing it. So unfortunately, I have to wait till next month and see what packs come up or what offers come up that are now going to deviate me from just spending. I can just go and buy cores, right? I could always justify spending money on cores, but that doesn't make too much of a difference to me. Like, I still might end up buying a $10 core pack right now. Right? Like, I might end up doing that if I have a reason to believe it. But here's the truth. I have 3,000 cores, and I haven't had less than 3,000 cores in this game for a month. So, what does that tell you? That tells you that I don't see much. Oh my god, how many people did he fucking blind? You, be blinded now. How many people did he blind? I've never seen a Mordo. That's great, thank you. That's exactly what I needed, by the way. I needed him to die so I could cheat. You can always use the cores for Kestrel event. You can use that statements and replace Kestrel's event for any word in the history of words, and it would make sense. No. Not particularly. And again, I'm not confident that I'm going to 3-star everything in the event. And even then, I don't need to... How many cores do you think it's going to take for me to get a 4-star Kestrel? We did the math on it. She costs way less than $12. Like way less, dude. You can always use cores. Fair enough. Yeah, it's fair. Boop. Yeah. So. Remember, he's not likely to complete the hard mode of the event. Yeah, it's very unlikely I'm going to complete the hard mode of the event, so it's not a high priority, like, pickup for me. Hey, Dash. But if I do, then I could spend $12 on cores later. You know, like... $10 on cores later. It doesn't carry over, but there's just nothing in this game worth $10. So if I'm spending money for the sake of spending money, you know, like, who am I helping? That's because I have to spend money. Like, if they made more $10 offers, I'd love to have the issue. I have a feeling either Longshot or Anti-Venom are going to be Premium Orb exclusives. I hope it's Longshot. That would make me very happy. I'd be very happy if Longshot was a Premium Orb exclusive. Because he's, like, as useless a character... Not useless, that's so mean. He's as irrelevant to the state of the game as... what's his name is? Cole Obsidian, right? Like you can do everything you have in the game without Longshot. You could do everything without Cole Obsidian. So it doesn't make too much of a difference. But that goes up. Hi, Marine. Boop. But they're gonna, no matter what, guys, they're always gonna put a character in the Premium Orb. So, like, what are we gonna do? Just, they're gonna all of a sudden, after releasing the character Kestrel and then making $50 packs of character costumes that took days, minutes even of work, they're gonna all of a sudden be like, no, Let's be good to the community now. It's not gonna happen. Boop. Boop. Hidey hole. Yeah, so Anti-Venom is the next character, and then after Anti-Venom is Longshot, I believe. Or is it Shatterstar? I always forget who the next is. It might be Shatterstar. My ordering is off. Anti-Venom is the next character that's going to be put somewhere, right? No, they'll make Yo-Yo more accessible now because Yo-Yo... So, Yo-Yo has to be made more accessible before... What's his name? Cole. So it's very likely that Anti-Venom becomes the Premium Orb exclusive. You think Kestrel's a new Premium Orb exclusive character? I can give you about 87 reasons why that's probably not right. But, you know, whatever. As well you should be, Marine. Don't come back. I don't like people quitting because it's quite literally impossible to come back. So I always tell people, take a break, relax, do less work. It's a good question, Sheppy. No idea. Happy to help, man. Yeah, don't ever, like, because once you quit, you can't come back. You can try. You know, you'll be fine, but wherever you were, you will be 1,000 times worse off. What's the next LEGO Unlock team, in your opinion? I suspect Heroes for Hire. I have no reason to believe it. I have no evidence. I have no leaks. I have no rumors. I have nothing to suspect specifically the Heroes for Hire team will be the next unlock, except for the fact that I feel it in my gut. And if you'd like to challenge me on that, just know very quickly, I don't give a shit about your opinion. Yeah. Is it worth farming Red Guardian from the Arena Store? If you have every other character in the Arena Store that isn't a minion unlocked, yes. Boop. If you're top 100 in your Arena Shard, probably. If you have 40,000 Arena credits banked because you didn't have to worry about it, yes. If you're asking if you should jump the gun, keep in mind that whenever they do this event, the Skilletary event, you will not be able to do more than 3 every time it comes around. So we don't know if it's monthly or whatever. Right, we don't have that information, but we do know that it takes Skilletary characters, and you're only going to be able to do the first 3. You still think they Legendary unlock at 6 since it's only 2 characters to buy? I'm going to repeat. I don't have any other information other than I'm going to get them to 5-star. Hey, 10, how you doing, man? What you guys do with my guesses, again, I'm telling you, this is a guess. I'm guessing. I don't have any information. I don't claim any back information. I've been told what it isn't. That's what I know. I know what isn't the next character legendary unlock. And that information helps me. So I know it's not the Astonishing X-Men, the Skilletary team, or the X-Factor. X-Factor is something for much later in the game. I know that isn't. Those aren't. I know Shadowlands doesn't unlock the next legendary. I know those things to be true. So either the Heroes for Hire characters are going to be necessary for the next unlock, or whatever the next new thing that comes out is going to be necessary for the next character unlock. But from this point on, I'm basically telling everybody, from this moment on, I'm treating the entire game as if it is every character from Colleen Wing and Misty Knight on have a high potential of being that. But Heroes for Hire only have 4. Correct. Then don't listen to me. Again, I don't have to prove my point on something that I'm suspecting. So, like, no one is going to produce to me evidence that I haven't already thought of. So the next legendary character is supposed to be released in June. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing I haven't thought about. Yeah, we're getting a June legendary, then a September legendary. Oh, good. Kingpin. Yay. Cool. Yeah. So as you can see, Zemo is everything. One of the most beautiful things about this game is that they just give you one of the best characters in the game as soon as you can do raids. You can just farm Zemo. They just let you farm Zemo. They just let you farm Zemo. They give him to you. They're like, here, farm Zemo. We are getting closer to legendaries that have ridiculous requirements. We very much are. But boop. How do you farm Zemo? Zemo is available in the the raid store. Shazam! Snap. It's a great question, Alex. But if you guys would like to speculate, you're welcome to do so. Nice, Kev. No, Last Human. I think that at the very least, Anti-Venom is going to be accessible somewhere this month. Like, this month, I think we're going to get Anti-Venom's accessibility. Everyone else, I don't know. Well, it's because the captain of Team Furry Jacket, by the way, is Sabretooth. So, might be a 3 supernatural... No. The next legendary is June. Blade and Morbius are November, October. So, yep. And here we are, now gated behind level Villain 71, so level 70. Have the new raid milestones affected your alliance much? The raid milestone shouldn't affect your alliance. Like, if you left your alliance because your alliance wasn't completing many of the raid milestones, you know, it says more about you than it does about them. Keep in mind, they designed them to suck. So your alliance wasn't bad. The Scopely designed the raids to suck. We get about 14. My main account, I get about 14 Surfer Shards. Right? So that's 1 a day because we finished milestone 34. And that's fine. Like, that's more than you. When do you think Kestrel will be in the store for credits? 45 days after a character's released to buy. The character is added into the Red Star store every time. If you'd like to know more, please pay attention to Silver Surfer over the next couple days, because Silver Surfer will be added to the Red Star store if he hasn't already been. I haven't been paying attention. Silver Surfer, it's 45 days after the release of the character. Or the end of the release of the character. So a month and a half after a character has been released, or if you really want to make it simpler, 2 weeks after the last character was added to the Red Star store, a new character will be added to the Red Star store. Now, it's not exactly 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 2 weeks and a day. Sometimes it's just under 2 weeks, but that's roughly it. Ooh, I can't do anything here because I already have Ghost Rider unlocked, so that guy's done. Let's see what's going on here. Could I do something here? Yeah, all right, guys. We could do more stuff because I hit level 60. Whatever, cores mean nothing. Useless things are useless. So they're good, right? I mean, Elsa would have been fine, but like, we're just gonna use Hela here and win forever. Yeah, what's up, Goof? I don't know, man. As I play through this, I'm having more fun, which is even hilarious. I'm having more fun on this account than I am on my main account. And it's just a lot. Surfer has a lot of options for ISOs. Striker is probably the most impactful. Then Raider is very good, and Healer can be very good. Yeah, I'm sorry, let me clarify. I was having more fun in this game. So bet Kestrel will play Surfer in the milestones. Well, remember, there's going to be like 14 weeks, right? It's 14 weeks of Kestrel, of Surfer. So if they do replace, that's going to be a very long time. I have all the symbiotes except Anti-Venom. Should I use Minerva's the 5th? Yeah, that's fine. Or you can cut Venom and Minerva and use Black Bolt and, if you have them, Black Bolt and... You can cut, yeah. You can use Scream, Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, Black Bolt, and Yo-Yo if you have them. They'll be fine too. 14 seasons? That's 28 weeks. Yeah, so there's no way they're gonna make Kestrel completely inaccessible for like from now for like 20 weeks, you know? This is just not gonna happen. 28 weeks is a lot of months, man. I think it's like 7. So we take away a couple. So it's 6 more months? No, not gonna happen. Boop. Who wants to bet? I have all... I mean, she might end up being in addition, but... Is that a challenge they hear? No. No, they just... They will make... By the time that happens... Like, Surfer had no release, right? Surfer had no release method. You can claim he was released through the Strike Pass, but there was no release method for Surfer. There was no opportunity for a player to get more than a bare minimum amount of shards for performing better. Does that make sense? Basically, if you didn't spend any money, you could not have a higher than 5-star than 2-star surfer if you spent no money at all, which is ridiculous because you get more than that through every other release method in the game. Simple. Like, campaigns, you can get significantly more. Blitzes, you get a couple more just for completing the blitzes, you know, like just for completing the milestones in the blitzes. It's, what was it, 42 plus 10? 52. So you get 2 extra shards, and that's the lowest amount you get for completing the milestones in the blitzes. You can technically get significantly more depending on how more you're willing to blitz or where you are in the game. Even the milestone event characters, the ones that are like blitz during this and get shards and get orbs, it is a reasonable way to get more than a 45 shards of a character. Most of those characters actually are 3-star unlocks, so it becomes easier to do that. So in all of that conversation, Surfer literally had no release method. There was no way you can improve the quality of your Surfer outside of just doing the bare minimum, and you are now equal to everyone who also didn't spend money, and it's not the same. So Surfer had no release method. Kestrel, and let's also be clear, Polaris has no release method. Polaris is the exact same as Surfer, and they didn't change the strike pass, so there's absolutely no situation in my main account where I'm buying that pass. Like, there's nothing there for me. Let's lead with murder. Vroom! When do you think Emma will be farmable? Emma won't be farmable. Emma will be added to the new seasonal milestone orbs, and that's where she will be accessible, but you're not going to be able to farm her. When? They're already missed the boat on their seasonal milestones, so unless they're looking to do it every 6 months again and restart their cycle, which makes sense, I expect the new seasonal milestone to start sometime in June. They removed the Fuse and ISO quests. Oh, they removed them? They didn't remove them. They made it harder to complete the strike pass. This game is great. I feel like some characters should be hard to get. I agree. I feel like there should be a reward for getting certain characters. I feel like the character... Like, let me put it to you into a little bit of a slightly different perspective. Did you know that Kestrel is going to impact more people for longer than Doctor Doom is? I want you to think about that for a minute, guys. I want you to think about the fact that the Dark Dimension 4 exclusive is less impactful to the game as a whole than the character they're quite literally giving away. Well, since I've been talking about it for the last 2 months, or I'm sorry, the last month, my opinion on Max 3 Red for Ultron stays the exact same because I've said that for the last month. That you're not going to get more than 3 stars on Ultron. So I knew that. So this isn't like, ooh, how do we discuss? This is if you've been paying attention to me, you've known this too. When will Jubilee come back? I believe sometime. I believe after Black Bolt, before Maw. But it's either in 2 weeks, basically. Black Bolt's when? Not next Monday, but the Monday after. Oh, they're doing another Minerva login? That's awesome. They already did a Minerva login, didn't they? Wait a minute, no. Minerva was the login character when I started this, wasn't she? Who was the login character? Black Bolt's on Monday? Okay, so sometime between next week and the week after we're getting Jubilee. I think Jubilee's coming before Maw. So either work your ass off for Jubilee, or guess I'm wrong, take your bets, guess Tony's wrong, and think you have longer. Explain why they made Doom so inferior to a free character. Why should I explain that? Don't ask me to explain why they did that. Ask them to explain it. My job is to play the game, man. Have fun. You got Minerva from the purchase calendar, not the login calendar. No, I didn't purchase the calendar. I didn't do that. I purchased a $4.99 50 shard Minerva offer. I didn't buy the calendar. Okay. Maybe that's what I was confusing though. I swear. Oh no, there was a blitz for Minerva, wasn't there? I don't remember. There was something. Because I had a bunch of Minerva shards for free. Okay. That's cool. I like Minerva login calendars. They help people. Yeah, don't ever ask me to explain why this company I fucking hate does something. Like, I can't justify them. I fucking hate this company. I hope like everyone in Scopely gets fired and is never employed again. That's not fair. I hope they work at Starbucks. Because they're just... Not everybody either. That's also unfair. There's probably like a handful of people that don't suck. March 11th? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So like I can't justify why they're doing dumb shit. I'm just reporting what I know. Is March Women's History Month? Yeah. Shazam! Where'd everyone go? That is interesting. No Starbucks, into Taco Bell. Sold. Does this end the fight, or do I still have to do dumb shit? Yay! The CMs had a pass. The CMs were originally community managers. Now they're not. So, as far as I'm concerned, whenever someone says Cerebro or Zeke said something, my heart dies a little, because it just means that that person doesn't know yet that Cerebro and Zeke's are proven obvious liars. But they'll learn. I can't be the one telling it. That's right, Adam. Because we need Starbucks applying Scopely marketing prices. I mean, we'll just stopping at Starbucks, you know? Or they'll still make the money, that's fine. But think about the Minerva impact in the game. I'm not sure Kestrel is good for the game. She's not good for the game. She's literally the worst thing they've ever done. Lucifer's back? Fuck yeah. Super excited. I love Lucifer. Out of context, that would sound like I worship the devil. Which I also might do. Shit was great, though. Yeah, at this point, I can't play Among Us with Zeke's anymore, because I'm just like, well, that's lying. Where did I get a Doctor Strange? Do I get a turn? Like, what's happening here? Boop. Love, Death, and Robots is coming out, like, next week, though, right? Everybody get debuffed. The graphics artists that do characters are good. I mean, like I said, there are some people who are just working, but like... somewhere in EA, There's a guy who programs how the hit stick works. That doesn't mean that EA is a good company. You still work for shit. I get it. It's the industry is a nightmare, but like how I don't make excuses and I don't look to do it. If Scopely went out of business, all of the qualified people who work there would find jobs elsewhere. So that's why I don't care. Because if the graphics artists are this good, they will find work elsewhere. The problem is, outside of that, some other game will also hire Jason Bender. Because you fail upwards in game design, especially in mobile games. We're gonna keep going, completing these nodes for characters I don't care about. Da-da. The former Fox Next employee. No. No, there's no. I think like 4 or 5 of the Fox Next employees, when Scopely bought them, I think only 4 or 5 have left since then. John Durr, some guy who worked for accounting. You know, like I don't think they lost. The Scopely literally bought the entire company. What did you make out of the Bender interview? We did an entire thing on it, man. Long story short, nothing changes. Like, Remen was super poised during that interview, so he did his absolute best to not be a shit, which is more than I would be able to do. But yeah, keep in mind, like, Jason Bender is a notorious shill. So, like, what was I supposed to get out of him? Did he say anything of merit or consequence? No. So, like, what does it matter? Pew! Pew! Whew. Boop. You're dead. Yeah. Well, for those who aren't aware, I turned down the interview. It was on Twitch. We watched it on Twitch. So there's, I think, whatever day it came out that we did a watch along, Valley had asked me to be a part of it, and I told him I couldn't pretend to be professional when faced with somebody who I know for a fact is responsible for all of the bad things about the game. You know? So, like, and I know other people don't know that for a fact. You know, like, you don't know what I know, so I get it. Wait, did he kill all of them? God damn! Damn it! That was so close, I wasn't even paying attention. Alright, I'll pay attention this time. So I turned him down, and then he's like, alright, I'll go ask Remen to do it. And Remen's way better at playing politics than I am, because of whatever reason. Probably difference in career paths and everything. So Remen is capable of keeping his mouth shut when he hears a lie. I'm not. If I hear someone say something that I know isn't true, I will call people on it. But again, you don't really have to figure out what the community wants. The community doesn't want to hear about bad things. The community wants to hear about good things. The community wants to live vicariously. Every Friday, I stream DolphinTale to showcase the account I've started, and I only spend $60 a month. So this month, I will be going down. I will not be spending all 60. I will only be spending... I might buy, like, a quick offer at the end, but I am only going to be buying a handful. Who is lying? I've literally just explained that. Go watch the VOD. Yeah. There was just no world where I could sit in a room with Bender, hear him say something, and then not like address it. Like, doesn't exist. couldn't do it on my best day, you know. So I stepped away from that. Remen took over. Interview went fine, but no. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Remen reacted physically to the words when he knew it wasn't true. I react viscerally when I hear something that isn't true. Like, I couldn't even finish watching the interview on stream because it had gotten to a point when it was just too much for me to take. Yeah. So I'd gotten to the point where I couldn't watch the rest of the interview. And I just had to shut it off because I would have been just incredibly aggravated. But like I said, the community exists in a way, and this is true of all gaming. Players want to... Costumes aren't going to be bringing buffs anytime soon. At least not in the time where this game won't be dead. I'm here for you to tell me anything useful. Richie, you could just stop coming. No. It just sucks, man. It really does just suck. Like, people want to get... Richie, I hope you know I was messing with you. No, like, people generally want to live vicariously through content creators, so it's easier to imagine certain content creators being more or less viewed because you now get to see something that you would never experience, and that's very true. As a matter of fact, I skewed Genshin. Genshin, a lot of the times, the highest content creators are basically the guys who spent the most money, you know? So it's a living, like, setup. I'm happy you enjoyed the Kestrel video. It's a living thing. And most people don't want to receive information through that kind of content anyway. So that interview that they did, that wasn't an interview. That was these are the pre-approved questions that you're allowed to ask and talk about because they're a company, and no sane company would ever allow that level of control. But at the same time, you have to accept that that's real. There is a release. I can give you a little bit of information about MFR. November is the global, to my knowledge, on MFR. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not clarifying. There's a reason I still do what I do. I just stopped doing it for the community a long time ago. I started doing it for my community. You know what I mean? Like, I stopped paying... That's why I release videos that you guys want. That's why I release videos for you guys to watch. I'm done with the Marvel Strike Force community. Yeah, like you know, like, no, I'm in for you guys. The guys who fall into the pit with Choni, I'll carry you guys. I'll help you as best as I can. You know, I can't do anything else. And hopefully that's why I do this, right? Like, I'm not spending $60 a month on a second account because I got so much money that I have to keep giving it to Scopely. I'm doing it so hopefully you guys can either hang out, watch, ask questions, or review what I've done, right? The actions I'm taking, and determine why I did them. So instead of learning what to do, this is more of a learning why I do the things. So you end up becoming better at the game by learning, not better at the game because so-and-so, what's-his-face, and the ugly one told you this is the character you have to work on or else. You know, I'm more just showing. I'm showing by doing as opposed to showing by reporting where I can. And again, this isn't going to be for everybody. You know, there's going to be people that are willing to spend way more than $60 that are going to think this information is incorrect. And then there's going to be people that spend no money that are going to think that this information is useless to them. I can't make everything for everybody. I just try to make things for the people who understand where I'm coming from. Thanks for catching the Teen Girl Squad reference. Are we the non-community? No, you guys are the Tony Scungili community. I hope. We're going to play this game until we can't play this game anymore. And then we're going to play another game. And then we're going to play another game. We're going to come back. And I'm going to be the same honest Tony as I am in every other shit. But there are going to be games that I spend way more money than the average person. And then be like, you don't have to do this. Like Future Rev is dead ass. It's closer to Genshin. Closer, kind of a combo of Genshin and that, Chris Rico. There's going to be games that, like, you're going to see, like, you're going to be like, Tony, why did you spend, like, $10,000 in the first month of Marvel Future Rev? It's like, because I love it. Because I love it, man. You know? Because I'm super in. Because I know the kind of game it is. Because I have the information. I've seen some gameplay stuff. So I'm going to have fun, but you going to do anything for Diablo Immortals? I don't want to give them money. I haven't been happy with Blizzard in a long time, so I just don't want to give them money. But I will absolutely. Yeah, not in the first month. I literally have money set aside for what's it called? I have money set aside for the first month of Future Rev, and it's like, it's a lot. Guess where my Doom Fund went? You guys remember when I had a Doom Fund of like $800? Well, the Doom Fund is now was the start of the Future Rev startup stream. Why didn't I like Future Fight? What I didn't like about Future Fight was that at the time I had discovered Future Fight, I felt like it was too difficult for me to catch up. Does that make sense? I thought Future Fight was great. I still actually don't hate the game at all. But to play the game the way I wanted to, it would have taken too much time or too much money, because Future Fight did the one thing it should never have done, which was put everything in one global server instead of creating multiple servers that grow and with each other. To be fair, I think this game made that mistake too. I think that this game puts too much... There's too many things that are global. I think war should never have been global. I think alliances should never have been global. I think that your alliance should only be... Because you can't work with your alliance, right? You can't donate stuff. So I think that every time an arena shard opened up, every single time an arena shard opened up, it should have created an entire separate instance of the game in which you can talk and interact with other people, but you can't play with other people. That's probably would have created it. But whatever happened to DSA? They sold to EA. Glue sold to EA after demonetizing their game value by like 100% in every month for the first 3 months of their release. And then the game became basically unplayable. For anybody, both people from the beta and earlier who had already paid a lot of money and given them a lot of time and effort and feedback, or people that are starting the game recently, and they managed to, in all of this, piss off the one group of people they couldn't be afford to piss off, which was the whales, because, let me put it to you in another perspective. If I can afford to spend $10,000 a month, hypothetically, if I could afford to spend $10,000 a month, right? And that's what I want to spend. I want to be able to be that much stronger than somebody else. You know, think of it from Marvel Strike Force's perspective. If I'm willing to spend $1,000, I should be $1,000 stronger than somebody who isn't willing to spend $1,000. If they're willing to spend $500, I should be $500 stronger. You know what I mean? DSA, that cap was roughly $600. So basically, as a player in DSA, once you would spent $600 into the game when you started, or well, even a month, right? After about 3 months of spending $600 or so a month, you reached the pinnacle of strength. You were quite literally as strong as you could be for all of the content of the game. So, as a new player came out and also decided to spend $600, they caught up so much quicker that you were never good enough. And whatever the new team was, rarely was the best thing to get. So that's the problem. The problem with DSA was that they didn't know what they were doing. From soup to nuts. They had no idea what their plan was. And then they took advice. No, deadass. They took advice from Foxnext and Scopely about marketing. They literally reached out to them. I have the feedback from the conversation. They're like, we got information from other games that are doing it. Yeah. And again, basically, the way the game evolved was like they released a team that if you got them, you didn't have to worry. And then they released the next patch. They came out with another team, but it wasn't as good as the team they just released, but there was a character. So then you got the one character. So basically, the entire idea is it was a drag race, right? Think of it like a race, right? Like a race car. Like everybody has the exact same car, right? But you could pay to start the race at a different point. Like I'm going to start at the first checkpoint, right? But everybody paid for that. So now you didn't get an advantage over anybody because the cost was so cheap to start there that everybody did it. And there was no more amount of money you could spend to make that difference. So they had priced themselves into and out of oblivion to the point where the people willing to spend a lot of money were like, it was so many people that nobody felt like a whale. And the separation between those people and the people who spent no money wasn't far enough to make any like merit. And they started then taking your purchases and nerfing them. So they literally, from beginning to end, collapsed as a game company. There's a reason why I went from #1 content creator from DSA to stopped unceremoniously. Like, seriously. 3 YouTube videos released to 30,000 views, 30,000 views, right? 3 YouTube videos knocked that out of the park. I was doing weekly content for DSA. I was what Mobile Gamer is for MSF, I was for DSA. Then they offered me a contract where I'd have to sign it to, and I wouldn't be allowed to curse on anything ever. And like, it was like a morality clause. And I was like, eat shit and die. I'm never doing that. Fuck you. And then they did it with other people and started promoting other people's content. And I was still doing better than them. And then they proceeded to change things, fuck players over. And I was like, we're done. We're off. I quit before Hero. So now DSA has exactly 1 content creator. They have I might still be the #1 content creator for that game. I'm interested in... I'm going to actually release 1 DSA video. If you guys want, I'll do a DSA video explaining what I just did. Why I quit DSA. But like... Yeah, actually, I'll do that later. I'll make like a 10-minute video about why I hate DSA. Just to see if that video gets all those DSA. The one is Cozy. Yeah, Cozy Gamer's the only content creator for DSA. Yeah. Well, Cubs recognized immediately that he couldn't pretend. A lot of content creation is pretending. I know it's gonna sound really mean when I say it. Disney Sorcerer's Arena. It's gonna sound really mean when I say it, but there's a lot of content creation that's pretending. It's not lying. It's like I have to pretend I'm more excited about something than I am, or I have to pretend something is worse than it is. There's a lot of pretending, you know? And it's not dishonest. It's not like I hate something. Like, dishonesty would be like, I hate something, I have to pretend I like it. But it's less of that and more, this is good, I'm gonna say it's great. Yeah, I have to seem hyped for Skilletary. That's the example. I wasn't hyped for Skilletary, so I never came across as hyped for Skilletary. They didn't look good to me. Very clearly, they never looked good. Moon Knight looked terrible to me. So I knew going into the Shadowlands when I saw his kit and when we all got it released, I was like, he's not that good. You know, like he's not that good, guys. You hid your excitement for Kestrel? I'm not. No, what I hid was I hid my actual problem with Kestrel. My actual problem with Kestrel isn't that she's the greatest character to ever come out. It's not that she's being overhyped to the degree. Like, it's none of that. My problem with Kestrel is it is quite literally the worst game design from a game perspective I've ever seen. And it sets the most dangerous precedent ever. It sets the precedent that at any point in time, they can release one character that completely and totally destroys the value of not just endgame, that's kind of part of the course, but the growth cycle of a player. And to me, that's dangerous. Shazam! Yeah, Kestrel isn't exciting in the way White Tiger was exciting. She's not even exciting in the way Surfer was exciting. She's exciting in the way that, oh, you don't have Kestrel? Why are you even bothering playing this game? Someone with Kestrel is doing better than you are at everything, and also anything you get and work on that would be good outside of Kestrel sucks. And she's not, the funny thing is, she's not even that good. That's the irony of it. She is not even that powerful of a character, but let's blind you. Random question, do you? Yes, I do, sir. I don't even know what that question's asking, but yes, I do. Boop. Boop. Shazam! You're dead now. How do you find these games? I have to be a beta player to see if it's as much an advantage people say. It is an insane advantage, Jordan Trout. Let me be very, very clear to you. Do you think someone actually bought a $50 electric costume? I know 3 people that did. Personally know 3 people. Talked to them, said, come on, dude. You know me. I don't care what you spend your money on, right? Like, but come on, dude. That you can't have felt like that was a good purchase. Like, nah, I just like Electra. Again, if they came out with a Sabretooth costume, I imagine I would buy it because I love Sabretooth, right? But like, DD5? Yeah, DD5 is just going to be Kestrel and Surfer on every node. Cool. I don't actually need to farm him, so I'm good here. So again, thankfully, I've been able to get all this stuff out of the way, right? Now I'm level 60, working on the key characters. You can already see something. Exactly, Nick. Oh, I'll go forward, like it's fine. I'm not seeing the option to buy Kestrel. Rebooted and it was not there. Yeah, it was supposed to be a 16-hour window. She wasn't on sale for a full 24 hours. Yeah, thank Nick. Nick said it right here, everybody. Nick, thank you. I think that's the most eloquent way that I haven't been able to say it yet. Kestrel's not good. She deprives players the impact of good characters. Does that make sense? Like, Kestrel herself has value. She's a good character. Kestrel isn't the best character in the game. She does so much to make so many characters shitty that even characters like Black Bolt and Maw, who were designed to do that, were nowhere near it. Like, Black Bolt didn't even, like, all Black Bolt said was, you gotta be careful with Ultron. That's all it said. So Black Bolt's presence in certain nodes made it more, like in Dark Dimensions and stuff, made it harder for you to justify using Ultron there. You know, like it's really hard, but that's what it did. Like, Ultron specifically, and then, of course, Minerva, Scientist Supreme, other tech villains, thank you, sir, were like, okay, but he was a legendary character that took time and effort to invest in, to get all of it. So it made sense. Maw had a soft counter to Phoenix. In addition, he also had a counter to other hero controller characters like Hawkeye, Black Widow. I think Black Widow's a controller. Scarlet Witch. So, like, Maw's kit made him really strong and situationally useful. Kestrel takes probably 7 high-impact characters and dramatically diminishes the impact that they have from the second she came out. So congratulations to everybody who has not yet unlocked Hela. Anyone who bought a Kestrel can't use your Hela. You can't. Hela's no longer an option on War. Like, Hela used to be a character that was super impactful the earlier you got her. She wasn't broken, but she was great. Now, if you have, if you put Hela on defense, over. They have Kestrel. Hela's completely useless if Kestrel's present. Now, when you get Phoenix, if they have Kestrel, you don't have Phoenix anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't win. Yeah, Black Bolt had weird, like, everybody had their own downsides. Sinister a little bit less. Doom a little bit less. Even Multiple Man a little bit less, but there's still value. You know, so that ability to start with it is insane. Like, if it was like gain charge when you use the ultimate to do it, and it was something, or you know, something like that, then it makes sense. Kestrel shield makes Uncanny X-Men aren't a good counter anymore? What do you mean? Oh, Uncanny X-Men? Oh yeah, you can't counter Kestrel shield now. But now you could still use, you know, Brotherhood. Yeah. And that's okay. See, that's okay. If they add a character that makes a team good against what used to beat them, that's fine. The problem is just how many players now who unlock Hela, like, honestly, Doom's value went down. And it was already really low. So that's my problem with character design like Kestrel. She either needed to be a legendary character. That kit needed to be either legendary, or she needed to not have so much on her kit. No, it doesn't only block the first clone. It blocks every clone and summon until she takes a turn. It blocks every single clone and summon until she takes a turn. So yeah, if you have Doom and Sinister, Sinister will still get the clone. That's the difference of the reason why is everybody is it everybody? Is everybody have goo goo eyes for her? Or is there a difference between the content going out from people that Scopely has named envoys and people that haven't? It blocks Minerva's revives too. It blocks the first time it happens. No, I don't think it blocks a revive. I think her ultimate prevents people from being revived. Her ultimate, I believe her ultimate says characters killed this way can't be revived, which again is another thing that she didn't need. Anyone who plays Magic the Gathering, because we're almost done here, anyone who plays Magic the Gathering understands what it's like when an idiot designs a card, because when we end up with characters like Oko, Uro, like Emrakul, the Aeon's, not the Aeon's Torn, the other one, the crazy one with the mind control one, the mind slaver one. Like, when an idiot designs a card, or when an idiot designs a character, you end up with them making, this character has to be strong, and not understanding, wait a minute, there's a downside. Well, to be fair, X Factor should not be pushed, but Axemen, everyone needs to know that the Astonishing X-Men are the best investment you're ever gonna get out of mutant gear. 300k autoing U7.5, 400k beating Doom Raid mutant nodes, 440 to 50k autoing Doom Raid nodes. Like, that is I've said many times, the Astonishing X-Men are the tricycle of Marvel Strike Force. You don't need much in it. It's gonna take you where you need to go. You can't tip it over. You can't make a mistake on it. You know, like, you're just riding a big wheel. The X Factor are like the speak and spell of Marvel Strike Force. If you throw enough gear into them, they're gonna seem really good. But unlike some other teams, like the Shadowlands team, the New Heroes for Hire team, the Astonishing X-Men teams, they don't produce enough without that investment. Astonishing X-Men produce at 300k. X Factor does not. Kestrel produces at 40k. You know, like, discussing Surfer is relevant because Surfer's a good character. And truth be told, everybody should have a Surfer. At least anybody who started playing last month, you know, during the Strike Path. They should have a Surfer. It's important to know that this character is worth investing in. What's not important is to tell people, guys, you got to get him to gear tier 15 and every red star. Like, I think the X-Men is, like, dangerously designed. I think the problem with the X-Men is they were designed as a raid team, but it carries over to quite literally every game mode. They are top war teams. They're one of the top war teams. They're one of the top war defenses. They are one of the top raid teams. They're one of the top RTA teams. They win every blitz you go in. If there's a node somewhere that you can use the Astonishing X-Men, they're gonna beat it. Because if they kill a character, Beast gives you the bonus. You know, like, they're just so... The Black Order is still the best team in the game, but the Astonishing X-Men does a little bit more than them, just not as well, if that makes sense. 300k seems so insane. All the top CCs are only showcasing them in that level. Well, you're not. You're a top CC. You got your characters at the same level I do. I mean, to be 100% fair, sometimes I'll work big strong on strong guys. But that's the point. You have to say that. You know, I agree with Michael Mack, like, implicitly. People aren't discussing the relevance, but that's the problem, dude. So many people want to be a part of a community that they don't qualify for, that they're gonna watch somebody with a roster that they can never impact, not just for fun, for learning. Thank you kindly, but you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean, motherfucker. Ugh. I know exactly what you mean, dude. Stretch, stretch, stretch. I just don't like Kestrel. I have a video on her, if you want to check it out. It's 3 minutes long. I just don't like Kestrel, man. And I'm not buying her on principle, guys. Trust me. If her offer comes up tomorrow, I'm buying her. You know what I mean? Like, she's gonna be purchased. But every single aspect of her design, when you look at the other things that have happened up to this point, I think I can close my stream. Thank you guys, by the way. I think I can close it by saying this again, because I don't think it landed in the way I wanted it to. Kestrel is going to have more of an impact on every person's progression and growth in the game than Doctor Doom will. And if that doesn't seem fucked up to you, if that doesn't seem like a real problem in the game, that the Dark Dimension 4 character, who's also Doctor fucking Doom, has less of an impact on the game than Kestrel is right now and will be, guys, thanks for watching. The only thing I will say, though, we're level 60. So here's we've now reached Doldrums. It's going to take me a while to get to level 70. Probably the better part of the next month. Next week is the 2 months recap. So 8 weeks, you know. There's not much that I can do outside of just plug along. Just to do a quick offer review. Hell no. Fuck no. We don't buy red stars. I actually don't hate this offer in general. I think a 4-star for 20 bucks is fine. The problem is that they use this as the base for 5, 6, and 7. So that's why 5-star orbs are like 30 and 6 stars are 20 or 75. So if this was like an occasional offer, it's fine, but I don't really like these. I would never buy these on this account. I think the Hella offer is great. The earlier you are, the better you are. I think the golden bundle sucks. I think if you're ever buying ISOs, you never have to worry about whether you're a whale. You're a whale. If you've ever bought ISOs or ions, I'm not talking about cores occasionally. If you've ever spent real money on ISOs or ions, you're a whale. Don't worry about it. Orb draft is cheap, so it doesn't matter. You can't justify 20 bucks for like a little bit of experience. It doesn't make too much of a difference. This is a fine, cheap offer. This is the offer you're going to see me be buying a lot more frequently as the time rolls around. That 3,000 energy is worth a lot of character farming, a lot of gold, a lot of resources, especially if you set it up so you buy it close to the end of a day, you know, and you get the reset and everything. So that's usually what I'm going to do. Might even do that tomorrow. Again, gold is garbage. I never have a problem with the Pack of Shame, guys. It's a good pack. It gives you basically one free buy, some resources for war. It's a good value price. If it didn't have the charges, I would say no, but it's not bad. Garbage, 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 and now we're in the core garbage, which is pretty much anything because they overprice everything with cores. 1,000 for 70? How impatient do you have to be? So yeah, next month, you know, in one day, we're going to have a brand new month reset. We're going to have a brand new amount of money come in, $60. Again, I might end up picking up some cores. I don't believe I am for the end of the month. So this is probably going to be the first month that I don't actually spend all $60 or close to $60. I'll do a lambasting DSA video because I just think that they missed the ball on that. And that's it, guys. You know where to find me on Twitch. Next week, we'll probably be focusing a little bit more on shoring up the ultimate team I'm trying to put together, which is Surfer, Captain Marvel, Zemo, Yo-Yo, and Hela. I don't think Minerva's that important going forward, especially now that Kestrel exists. Actually, now that Kestrel exists, it completely changes where I plan on using Hela. I didn't even think of that. I can't even put Hela on defense anymore because I'm gating myself behind the fact that everybody is going to have a Kestrel. So, yeah, we're probably going with Surfer, Captain Marvel, Yo-Yo, Zemo, and either Minerva or Ghost Rider, depending on the growth. I'll hang out with Goof if I have some free time. No problem. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. Have a great day. Be safe out there. I'll catch you over the weekend with some bonus streams as stuff goes on. And that's it.